Okay, let's go through the one arm row. This is a great exercise for strengthening your upper back and the muscles that are involved with shoulder blade retraction. And it's a simple exercise, but it's often done horribly wrong, which can contribute to shoulder issues if we're not conscious of how we are moving the shoulder. The same is also true for any pushing and pulling exercise. Let me dive into that, I'll show you what I mean. So because modern living puts us in this position, this rounded shoulder position, so often with the head leaning forward, we can tend to conform to that posture, and if we're not conscious of how we lift a weight and retract that shoulder blade back, we can end up staying in that position, which can cause you a lot of shoulder issues and not even train the upper back. And that's the purpose of doing any row movement, right? The purpose of a row, whether it's a dumbbell or kettlebell row or a bodyweight inverted row, is not to move the weight of your body from A to B. The purpose is to train a muscle group or a movement pattern. And if we stay conscious of that, we have more chance of executing it properly and getting the biggest bang for our buck, rather than just going through the motions, in which case we can eventually cause ourselves some issues if we do enough repetitions from that. So there's a bit we want to think about. We'll talk about the shoulder girdle and the shoulder blade and how that should move first, and then I'll talk about position of the hips. So when we're rowing, we're here, right, and we can see the shoulder blade is fully spread across my upper back. And then at that position, what I want you to think about is retract the shoulder blade and then row the elbow back until you feel a squeeze in the lat and the upper back muscles, right? And then you row it back down. So that should look like this. Retract the shoulder blade first, so rather than just pull. See, if I just subconsciously pull, I tend to just go into that rounded shoulder position, and I have barely engaged my upper back whatsoever. You'll see my shoulder rolling forward like this. Now, having coached so many people over the past 10 years, I see this so commonly, especially in adult males who have not been training for a while, and they tend to do a lot of sitting. The upper back just goes into the shoulder, and the upper back goes into that position automatically. So we need to be very conscious of that. And we start with light weights just to help train and strengthen the movement pattern. So retract the shoulder back and down. If we don't think back and down, I also see a lot of people shrugging, right? And again, that's going to cause some problems. It's going to hurt you eventually and cause dysfunction in how your shoulder moves. So in here, down, retract the shoulder blade, and then row, pause in that position, and try and really feel the contraction of the muscles involved in retracting your shoulder blade in the back, and then lower down under control. And then just before you row again, reset, down and retract, row the elbow back, squeeze, and then lower under control, right? And that's how we execute the one arm row properly. Next thing I want you to think about is your feet position, because I often see a lot of people split the stance, which is okay, but I would always put the forward leg, the forward foot, make sure that's the one of the same arm that you're going to row. Reason being, if we're in this position here, then when we row, we can do a lot of turning at the hips, and actually we're moving the torso and not contracting the upper back and getting as much engagement of that muscle as what we could be. Whereas if we do that, split that way, or just have the feet like this, then that keeps the hips in a fixed position, and we get a bigger contraction because it's more of the back that is moving the weight and not that rotating of the trunk. So the reason I like to do the one arm row in pretty much most programs, some of the guys I coach don't have dumbbells, so they're just using bodyweight, then that's fine. But a lot of people also have imbalances as well between sides in terms of their posture and where their shoulders are sitting. So just having that one arm to focus on can really help you get that retraction done properly when you're going through the row, because you can really concentrate on just that. Whereas a bodyweight row, for example, on a set of rings, there's a lot more to think about. Rowing both arms and shoulder blades, plus full body muscular activation and holding tension throughout the body. It's a little bit harder, a little bit more to think about, especially for beginners or people who haven't been training for a long time. So I think the one arm row is a great exercise to have in any training program, whether you're a beginner or advanced in itself. It's a great back development exercise, but it's also great for helping you create that awareness of how one individual joint's moving and getting that shoulder blade retraction, which has a carryover to better posture, better back development, and also other strength exercises. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions on it, please drop them in the comments below or shoot me a message. I'll catch you on the next one.